Hey, I'm Ethan.
Hey, I'm Mike.
I watched the first half of Hellbound, Hellraiser II.
I watched the second half of Hellbound, Hellraiser II.
And this
Is the other half. Springabites. Welcome to another series of Watch Till You Can't on the Other Half podcast. We are going to be watching, hopefully, all of the Hellraiser movies.
Every single one. All 10 of them. I believe there's 10 from what I just counted on the website. Yes, there's 10. Well, okay. Technically, we already watched one.
Right. We've already seen
watched the first one. And that's kind of started the whole thing.
Right. We really enjoyed the first one.
The first movie. As most horror movies go,
Yes.
the first one is, when, it's a huge franchise like this, the first one's legitimately a good movie.
Really good.
And you're like, wow, this is impressive. Okay, cool.
And then I think I was online going like, there's a lot of these fucking movies. And I watched all the trailers and was like, wow, you can see the quality just like really quickly depreciate over time.
So I think that's a great challenge for us.
I think
at some point there's no dips.
No.
It's just a straight downhill.
It's just a plateau of awfulness.
Exactly.
There's only one movie I want to see, and that's the one we're working towards, which is the internet one.
Yes, I believe that is Deader, or is it Hellseeker?
I don't know which one.
Oh, shit.
I think it's...
Oh, no, it's Hell World.
It's Hell World.
2005, which also came out at the same time as Deader. I don't know. We gotta look into that more. We're gonna research a little bit more.
We're gonna look more into this series. But the only thing we know is it's Clive Barker wrote the original one. And the first one rocks. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's great.
A lot of
Directed
weird...
and wrote it, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize Clive Barker also directed it. It's a crazy fucking film. Lots of insane shit. Really horny. Really dirty.
Really gross.
Really gross.
Lots of crazy effects.
Fucking love it. And so I think that's why we were like, let's see what happens to these other movies. Because like I think the other thing is like, I haven't watched or read a lot of Clive Barker, but from the little I know, it seems like he's obsessed with like a Lovecraftian sense of like existential dread and horror mixed with like just being the most horny person in the world. Just like really mixing those two things up. I
mix it together as Catholicism, Cthulhu, and crazy horny sex.
I like that.
That's the Clive Barker special. In my mind. Yeah. I don't think it's every movie. I think that's the horny part. I think is mostly in the Hellraiser series. I think. I think those are probably the horniest, from what I could tell.
I don't know.
I'm not super familiar, but this is just me spitballing here about what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But like the Cenobites are a bunch of fucking guys dressed up in like, leather and like chains and shit.
Oh
like,
yeah. No, they're definitely
pretty clear what's going on here. Yeah. And I think Clive Barker's a gay man himself too. So it's like, I think he's also like using that as well. I know it was super popular back in the day. I always, whenever I see his stuff or see people talk about him, it always reminds me a lot of Dark Place. Like somebody who's trying really hard to be scary.
Oh yeah,
that's what it always feels like to me. And like I think what I really like about the first Hellraiser is it just really works in that. Like the absolute like insanity of that film, like just really like you're never bored,
Yeah, it's so over the top.
Yeah,
that you're kind of.
I don't think I was ever afraid, really.
No,
maybe grossed out.
Grossed out, definitely.
Yeah.
So. Just for those who don't know, we should recap probably the first Hellraiser, which is great because in the beginning of this movie, they literally just recap every single part that happened in the first one. Because
this is like a direct sequel.
Yeah, it's a direct sequel. Same characters.
There's Julia, who in the first movie is seduced by Frank, a villainous like rapist or murderer guy.
Yeah, he's bad.
Who
opened the box.
He opened the box and was his skin was taken off and he was just musculature. And the entirety of the time, he was basically asking Julia to bring people up into the attic so that he could turn more and more into a human being and then they could fuck each other.
Yep.
One of the people that was brought up was Julia's husband at the time. I don't remember what his name was.
And our main character's dad.
Krista?
Christy?
Christy.
Christy, yeah.
Kirsty.
It's Kirsty, not Christy.
Yeah, whatever.
Kirsty.
Yeah, and then I remember in that movie, Kirsty was a very small part of it, but I was like, I'd love to see a movie from her perspective because I feel like that's interesting. Like a third party character coming in and like, how do you even like conceive what's going on?
I thought she was a pretty main character in the first one. Was she?
What did she do?
She's just kind of there to freak out.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. She's definitely not. She's just more of a victim than like
she gets chased around a lot.
Yeah.
She gets chased in the hospital
Yeah.
When she fucks the box.
Yeah.
And then she's chased through the house at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, this would be a really cool like main character is what I was thinking, rather than Julia. Because Julia is at her heart a villain. She's like a bad person who is seduced by Frank, who's also a awful person. And it's weird too because it's like Kirsty is not a massive character, really, and neither is Pinhead in the first movie.
No.
Pinhead and the Cenobites in the first film are really just sort of like...
It's mostly the dad, right? Isn't the dad kind of the most of the main character, and then it swaps over, like, as far as, like, our hero character?
Yeah, basically.
And then it turns to Kirsty, if I remember right.
But I think what I kind of dug about the first Hellraiser movie, it's like there's not really any main characters who are good guys. Like, all the main characters are villains. And you just sort of see them.
I guess I don't remember that part, but yeah, I think you're right.
Because like most of the movies from like Julia's perspective and how she's like trying to seduce men and kill them in the attic, you know, like it's really we're just sort of following her, and also her like corruption, I think, throughout the film.
Mm-hmm.
But what was I saying? But yeah, you see sort of like all this crazy stuff. The Cenobites and Pinhead. So you got Pinhead. Pretty self-explanatory.
Yep.
Chatterer,
who's just big teeth. He's got big teeth, no eyes.
You got Butterball,
the most important.
And then the androgynous,
the lady person,
who's got like an open throat thing. And they just seem more like a force of nature, like just sort of these hellish characters that come and I don't know, corrupt people and like torture them.
See, I always felt it was like reap what you sow sort of allegories, where it's just like they are just the consequences of what your actions, whether they're good, bad. It's probably most of the actions you're doing are bad because you were like murdering people.
Very Catholic way of looking at the afterlife.
So it's just like, here's these consequences. They're coming. Sorry, bud.
Right. They didn't seem like real people. They mostly just seemed like agents of chaos.
Yeah, they're basically like demonic imps.
But we learned in this movie that isn't the case.
Oh man! So here we go. Here's the time when
is that enough? Is that enough backstory?
I think so. Well, I guess we need to touch a couple other things. So in the end, Frank dies. He gets like ripped apart by
a bunch of chains
was a really
that are attached,
which was the very first like scene in this movie. I'm like, oh my god, I was not prepared for like gore right away. This is very graphic.
Yeah,
I forgot how gory it was. It was much more like in the first movie they just ease you into like the horrifying like body horror like a little bit. This one's just like boom boom. Here you go. This little snap cut AMV video here of all the best gore bits. Yeah, here's a face just being suspended by chains.
Yeah.
All sorts of weird stuff like that. And then you got Julia, she dies.
Yes, she dies.
But she dies in a mattress.
Right.
She gets killed by the mattress. Gets eaten by the mattress and I guess absorbed into it or something like that.
And Kirsty gets away.
Yeah. Her dad dies. I think it's kind of all the people there, and so everyone's dead.
That's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this all happens in a house that Julia and her husband were moving into. That's another like weird aspect of the film. It's like this is like a new house. Like on top of the craziness, like this is like their first time in the house. Julia just like goes up to the attic and is like, "What the fuck is going on up here?" I don't remember this on the tour of the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to mention that as well.
Yeah, that was a wild scene. That was a wild movie.
Yeah, that movie's great.
Yeah. So then we start off in this movie.
Yeah.
Following, as you were mentioning before, how you wish she was the main character, Kirsty, basically.
Yeah.
And she's in a mental hospital
because of the events.
Because the events that happen, and she's trying to tell people what's happening. And everyone's like, "That's ridiculous. We're gonna send you to a mental hospital."
That was a movie no one would watch.
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
If we listened. So, but the very beginning, excuse me, after the recap, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Is just a little scene of some guy who looks like an explorer, like your typical British explorer with like the hat, like Nigel Thornberry looking,
like the guy from Jumanji.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jack Black's character from Jumanji, basically, but like a skinny little British guy.
No. The original Jumanji.
No. I'm talking about the real Jumanji. I'm not the good one, not the old one.
How dare you?
The old one is okay. Yeah, so he's there and he's playing with the puzzle box, and then it opens, and then hooks come out of it and start slicing them, then it shows a transformation of how he became Pinhead.
Oh, he's Pinhead.
I think so.
Okay.
That's what's implied.
Okay.
Which makes you wonder, you may be able to explain this more as the movie goes. I'm wondering, is it one Pinhead or is it multiple Pinheads? Is it like Pinhead Yeah, I don't know.
There's only one.
There's only one Pinhead.
There's only one Pinhead.
Okay,
there can only be one.
I didn't know if he like died and maybe got reincarnated as like you were now a Pinhead.
No, I think it's the idea, because the idea is like what the puzzle box opens is essentially eternal torture. So you can never die, but it's sort of like the Sisyphus thing where like you want to fucking die, but you're just like you're consumed by a mix of pleasure and pain, basically. Yes. So you're in pain and you love it.
Interesting. Yes, just like our existence on Earth. So, we start off with the homicide guy. His name's Ronson.
Who's Ronson? He's a homicide guy, like a cop.
He's a cop. You know what? I'm trying to remember. I don't think he comes really into play. Like he kind of leaves pretty early.
I don't think I ever see him in my head.
He's checking on her in the hospital. He's like, talk to me. And he's like, don't say any fairy tale stuff or demon stuff. Tell me real stuff. She's like, what if the fairy tales are real, though? And so you also see a cut of the cop going through the house. Mm-hmm. Another cop, by the way, not the same cop. He's not running back and forth. He's not exercising. He's keeping it easy.
Yeah, that's right.
He finds the mattress. They're like, this is probably the only thing that's like evidence-y because it's full of blood. It's like really weird.
Chains and shit, right?
Yeah, it's like all messed up.
Yeah.
So we'll take that down to evidence. Like, okay, bring it downtown. And I think what's her face hears it. Kirsty hears it and is just like, oh my god, like you got to destroy that mattress. And everyone's like, okay, whatever. And then we cut to a surgery, someone doing open brain surgery.
Lobotomy.
Dr. Chenard. Is it lobotomy? It makes sense.
I think it's a lobotomy.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
He definitely has like
a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest style.
Yeah, he's just like
bad doctor vibe.
Bad doctor. I take your brain out. That's the easiest way to silence a patient. But he's given a whole speech about like the human brain is a maze and it's a puzzle we have to figure out. And blah blah blah. It's like bad vibes. And his voice, he just sounds like he's already a Cenobite. Like he's already there. I don't know if he becomes it in my half. He may later. Keep it to yourself.
I will.
Keep me waiting. Keep me wanting. Give me that pleasure and that pain. The pain of waiting, but the pleasure I'll get afterwards.
When you learn what
happens to Dr. Chenard.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's been assigned to diagnosing Kirsty. Mm-hmm. And he goes and talks to her, and she just immediately is yelling about the mattress still. Talking about how Julia will come back, and everyone's like, okay. But, he is, of course, a good doctor, or pretends to be a good doctor by being like, you're not crazy. We just have some things to work through. It's like, oh my gosh, someone's listening to me. It's like very obviously like, okay.
He's not, yeah.
The audience already knows that he's bullshit.
For what these movies are, the characters pretty much wear their entire motivations on their sleeve.
They're 100%. Like
they're not too deep.
The more interesting thing is like what happens for me is what happens with the box and the Cenobites and all that sort of stuff. Like other than that, the characters themselves are kind of like whatever. They're one note. You get what they're going for.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's this Kirsty wakes up in the middle of the night and walks around and finds like a little girl who's just concentrating on solving puzzles. And then I think so Dr. Chenard has an assistant named Kyle who comes up and is like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? You need to go to bed. And he's like, what's that lady doing? Or that I guess she's a lady, yeah. I was trying to think if she was a girl or a lady.
She's definitely like a weird middle ground. I think they're trying to play her a lot younger than the actor.
Yeah, she's like a late teen, but she's played a lot
She's very innocent.
Yes,
like
very
whenever
innocent.
In my half the movie, whenever we see her in like her own clothing, she's like in like pigtails and like little dresses.
You get the long blonde hair. You got the innocent face. She doesn't really have an expression or anything.
She doesn't talk very much.
She's just there solving puzzles. And Kyle's like, yeah, she just does that. That's like her thing that she does to help stimulate her mind. She doesn't want to talk to anyone really.
That's basically just us in quarantine.
Exactly. Yeah, we're just doing a little puzzles. We're trying to figure out who goes to the Heaviside layer. If old Doot is right or if we should revolt.
That's
anyway,
right.
So then he's like, hey, do you want to take these pills? And she's like, no, I don't want your pills. He's like, okay, they were just sleeping pills. Like, he's a nice guy. He's just trying to help her out.
Come on. Why are you worried about him?
Yeah, because she wakes up in the middle of the night. She can't sleep. Then she wakes up in the middle of the night again and sees a creepy bloody corpse that says, I'm in hell, help me. And she goes up to the blood after the body's disappeared because it seems like it's her imagination.
Right.
She tastes the blood. Seems like the blood is real, which is weird.
Right.
So I don't know what's going on with that. Never really come back to it. Then we go to Dr. Chenard. We follow him for a little bit, and he is going to the elevator, and he's, looking at all the buttons, and he presses the one that's for maintenance. You go down all the
way
floors.
To the bottom, yeah.
Right below the basement is maintenance. And of course, this is where the real crazy people are.
Okay.
You open up the door. There's guys. Every door is a little padded room with someone doing something weird in the padded room. and you're just screaming. It's just like the most stereotypical.
See, this is Dark Place shit. Like, this is exactly like what Dark Place is like.
Exactly. But not as tongue-in-cheek.
Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, guys. Was a short series on the Channel 4 back in the day, British comedy series. Check it out.
Yeah, it's great. It's on Amazon Prime now, I think.
It is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's basically taking Stephen King's work and like making it
and a little bit of this too.
And this too, yeah. And just, you know, over seriousness movies in general, which have ridiculous plots and just poking fun at them.
Man, it sounds like that certain levels is full of people who are high maintenance.
Yeah. Anyway, very high maintenance.
So he walks down the hall.
Well, actually not, because he's living in a padded room.
That's
they're good to go. Very low maintenance because they're under the basement.
That's fair, yeah.
Anyway, so you can tell Dr. Shenard's got some
skeletons in his closet.
Skeletons in his closet. Well, soon to be skeletons.
Yeah.
Because they're still alive.
Right.
And so Christy's talking to Kyle about something, and Kyle's like, "Oh, I'll get Dr. Shenard, and to maybe help with like what you're thinking." And she's like, "Does he have a ticket to hell?" It's like, what are you talking about? He walks in on Dr. Shenard, who is on the phone. He's listening. He doesn't see Kyle there. Dr. Shenard's on the phone being like, "Hey, that mattress, can you deliver that to my house?"
Whoa.
And Kyle's like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, don't be discreet on the side door, not the hospital. Send it to my house.
I will say though, I mean, if I just heard somebody saying that they wanted a hospital or a mattress moved to their house, it'd just be like, "Oh, they just got a new mattress."
No. It's clearly the one from Evidence. He's like the one. They makes it very obvious it's the one from Evidence.
Yeah,
not
that
just
bloody, disgusting mattress. Bring it to my house.
Yeah.
Who's he talking to on the phone? You think?
I guess the cops.
The cops.
Yeah, because you know he's in charge of her, so he can get some evidence or whatever. It's very weird.
Okay.
So they're like, "Whatever, we're dumb." Anyway, so he goes in, doesn't confront him about it, but Kyle hears all this. And then let's see. Christy basically goes through and talks about how like what happened basically in the first movie, because I mean the beginning was just a clip show. Now it's
right.
Like,
now we need to know what
Uncle
in context.
Frank banged Julia, who knows when, probably on the wedding day of her actual dad. Frank had the puzzle box. Frank solved it. Frank came back to life. Julia brought him men to kill. They get stronger and stronger. Then he eventually got her father, but Frank killed him and took his skin. And then Julia at the end was betrayed.
Yeah, that's
he was the final kill, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, and he used his skin to trick people.
Killed his own brother.
That's right.
Yeah, it's true. He was disguised as the dad.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah,
which is weird because that doesn't happen later on in this movie. Like, you don't steal other people's skin.
Maybe it does.
Oh, maybe it does. Yeah. But okay. Anyway, so Kyle is like, "I'm gonna break into this guy's house because this guy's a weirdo." And he breaks in and looks around and finds 3 puzzle boxes, just kind of in his like office. 3.
Holy shit!
Puzzle boxes. That's right. You know, we're amping up the stakes. This is a sequel, baby.
That's right.
The first one.
That was just one puzzle box.
And you're like, "Oh, Hellraiser 2. We're gonna have 2 puzzle boxes."
No.
We're Hellraiser fucking 2. We're
That's
Hellbound Hellraiser 2. We're getting 3 motherfucking puzzle boxes.
What are you gonna do about it?
All with different shapes and colors.
Oh, really?
No, they're all gold.
Oh, okay.
But they have different shapes. They're kind of like, they got different designs on them, you know?
That's cute, yeah.
They're different editions.
Right. So how many puzzle boxes are going to be in the next one, you think? 9?
Ooh.
12?
Ooh, are we multiplying? Yeah, we're going to multiply by, what if it's by 10? They're like, multiply by 10, so there's 30.
30 puzzle boxes? Boy, there's going to be a lot of puzzle boxes by the end of the series.
It's like a whole escape room over here. Anyway, so Dr. Shenard brings in one of the patients that we saw earlier from the padded room, who seems to be, imagine there's maggots all over him. Very sensitive way of looking at mental health.
Oh, sure,
Great,
absolutely.
Scary, I mean, good horror stuff.
Yes.
Horror trope, number 1. Mental health, insensitivity, unbound insensitivity to mental health
At least the guy
patients.
isn't a murderer.
We don't know.
I suppose that's true.
We don't
but
know
like
what he
in
did.
this movie, he's not a murderer.
Which guy?
The guy that's covered in maggots and shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, we don't know. We don't know what his past thing was.
Not in the movie, he's not a murderer.
Fair enough.
Anyway, but yeah, you're right.
He's there. He's looking. He's like, I got fucking maggots all over me. He lays on the mattress that was there. Dr. Shenard brings
bloody
him, puts on the mattress. And then, of course, he's like, here, have this knife. And so he starts cutting himself because he's trying to get the maggots out. And it's very gross.
Yeah.
And then suddenly hands appear under the mattress and grab onto the guy. And
dude, that
gets,
sounds cozy. Imagine a mattress that cuddles you.
Oh man, forget weighted blankets. I'm waiting for a little mattress. Skinless red demon person to grab me and cuddle me to sleep.
Exactly. It just like rock me back to sleep.
Yeah, rock me back to sleep. That'd be nice.
I'd open a puzzle box for that.
Here's the problem though. They don't let go. So it's quite warm. You can get real sweaty.
That's a bit,
and also, have you had like skin-to-skin contact for a long period of time? It gets kind of sweaty.
I guess a little bit.
Like leather, you know? It's not exactly the most breathable
You're really
substance.
turning into a Hellraiser over here. You're talking about leather and skin-to-skin contact?
Yeah. Can't wait to see what happens when we get to number 10.
I know. We're both of us going to be Cenobites.
Yeah, we might turn into Cenobites beforehand.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe number 6 we'll be all the way
painted pleasure is just too much. Yeah.
It's
anyway.
too much.
So he's got the hands coming out of the mattress.
Yes, grabbing him, and he start rolling around, and they pull out of the mattress, and they're fighting, but then it seems that skinless Julia, then gets the upper hand and like kills him, and then sucks the blood out of him. So she's
skinless right now.
Completely skinless,
cool.
Just like how Frank was in the
first movie.
Yeah, there was no cool animation of him like bones coming back.
That shit was so cool. That
was crazy cool.
Yeah.
But no, it's just her coming out of the mattress.
Okay.
Skinless, and yeah. So Kyle watches all this. It's a great reveal because like Dr. Shenard's like, whoa, this is crazy. Like he's obviously like, whoa, this is not what I expected to happen.
Right, this got out of hand.
This is very violent.
Yeah.
And then Kyle's like, holy shit, and just like runs away, basically. Much different reaction.
Smart. I hope Kyle lives. I know he probably won't, but I hope he does.
Yeah, you probably won't. What makes you say that?
Because I didn't see him in my half of the movie.
But she says, like, don't fear me, Dr. Shenard. I'm cold, though. And also I'm upset that I look so ugly. What I need is skin. So he, like, puts, like, a robe over her.
Robe, okay.
And then puts, like, bandages all over her. So it kind of looks like, you know, that Twilight Zone episode with the lady all wrapped up. And they're like, she's so ugly. We got to fix her.
Eye of the Beholder.
Yes. So it's like that.
Okay.
She looks like that, but she's walking around.
But really, under all those bandages, she's a fucking skeleton muscle person.
Skull muscle person.
Yeah.
There's no term for that.
Skeleton muscle
I guess skinless person?
Skinless person.
Skinless person's probably the best. I feel like skeleton's such a good name.
I love it. But that's a technical term. I don't think anybody coined that to be cool.
Yeah, that's true. There's no technical term for just muscles.
Musculatures,
I guess.
Yeah.
It's just not
I'll look
good.
it up. I bet there has to be, right?
I think skinless is probably the best we're going to get.
Probably.
But then
it doesn't seem as sexy.
No, because you think about like skinless chicken breasts and stuff like that, which isn't sexy. That's like boring keto shit. Like, not sexy like, I don't know.
Skeletons.
It's just so good.
Man, just thinking about it, I got a boner.
Very skeleton.
Exactly.
Yeah, skeletons are all boners. Anyway,
that's right.
So we got the oh yeah, so she looks up all nice. Oh, she's talking about how she needs skin. Okay, sorry. This movies are complicated. There's so many moving
There's
parts.
a lot, yes.
So Kyle comes back to Kirsty and's like, I believe you 100% now. Which I think is funny. Like, it just takes one event to just be like, oh, this person is not wild. Like, they could have drawn that out much longer.
Yeah.
But they're just like, no, we got to go and stop this. So they go back because Kirsty's like, Julia doesn't deserve to come back. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. That's fair. Killed your dad.
Yeah.
Betrayed Frank. Bad person.
No.
So they go and... there's now a bunch of dead people in Dr. Shenard's basement or attic. I don't know what room it is. You know, your empty room you have when you're a rich doctor surgeon. You just have an empty room for dead bodies.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bunch there.
We all
dead
have
now.
those.
Yeah, he's been bringing them in, doing the whole rigmarole that we've done before.
Yeah.
So she's mostly human at this point. She just took the last person. She has got a real face. Took the mask off. It's Julia again. She's back, baby.
Hell yeah.
Skinned up and ready to go.
It's cool that they found a skin that looked just like her.
That's the thing. That's what I don't understand. They don't steal the skin. That's why I was making the comment that, like, she just takes the exact same look.
Yeah,
she doesn't look like the person she stole the skin from this time.
Right. She looks like the actor.
Yeah. It's very weird.
Whatever, right? So I looked it up, and there's actually a technical term for it, but it's just the word muscle and skeleton put together.
Muscle was that
musculoskeletal.
Oh, musculoskeletal, dude.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good name. Musculoskeletal, but it's a little hard to say. It's very Scandinavian.
It doesn't roll off the tongue like skeletal.
Musculoskeletal.
Yeah, that's right.
Damn.
Or locomotor system.
Locomotor? Oh man, locomotor's a great name. Locomotor.
That's a little better.
Whoop whoop! Locomotor's coming through.
Come on, do the locomotor with me.
Dr. Chenard was the conductor of this locomotor.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Okay, so now she's got a skin.
She's got skin.
She looks
So
like Julia.
Speaking of locomotion motions,
They
Dr.
fuck.
Chenard's basically like, let's get it on. And starts making out.
I feel like that would be so weird. You just saw her muscles.
Oh, I know. But now she's got skin. She's all better, baby.
That's right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Kyle and Kirsty break in now.
Mm-hmm.
Kirsty, excuse me.
It's all right.
Break into Dr. Chenard's house. Kyle is gonna open the door with all the bodies, but Julia finds him. He's like, "Oh my God, is the beast still here?" He doesn't know. He doesn't know Julia is the beast because she's got her skin back.
Oh.
So he then is like, she's like, "Don't worry, just let you know, I don't know where they are, but whatever's in there is very scary. I don't want you to scream." So he opens the door. He's like, "Oh my God, there's a whole bunch of hanging bodies. They're all gross. There's flies. It's disgusting."
Yeah.
And then Julia gets closer. Is like, "Hey, I'm all sexy now. Why don't you come to mommy?" And then it's revealed, which is kind of cool because I thought she was like whole, but you turn around, the back is her still missing
open.
a little bit.
Yeah.
So then this is the weird thing. They stab their hands in the back of the head, which is very weird. I don't know why that is. And then she sucks him dry and gets the rest of her skin back. It's very like mummy-esque.
Oh, yeah, it's like the mummy.
It's just like the mummy.
Yeah. She does this to who now? The
Kyle.
Doctor? Kyle. Kyle falls for that shit.
He doesn't know any. Yeah, he's dumb, but he doesn't know any better.
Yeah, that's
I guess.
true. He doesn't know he can't trust her.
He doesn't know that. Yeah, she could absorb skin, even though she did kind of see that guy get eaten. But I guess she didn't really get her skin back. She was still kind of juicy.
That's right. How Julia got her skin back. It's my favorite movie. Anyway, so now she's got her skin back, and Kyle's dead.
Kyle's dead. So now Kirsty goes up, finds Kyle all dehydrated, messed up, and then Julia confronts her and is like, in this fairy tale, I'm no longer the stepmother. I'm the evil queen.
Hell yeah.
And then Kirsty runs at her for some reason. Julia just slaps her down.
Damn.
Knocks her out, basically.
Not a good move.
No.
Not a good move.
And then
is that where Kirsty stays the rest of your half of the movie? Is on the ground there?
We're basically at the end of my half.
Yeah.
Dr. Chenard brings in the puzzle lady that we saw earlier. And I assume
her name is Tiffany.
To solve one of the boxes he has.
That's right. And she does do that. And Julia and the doctor are watching her do this. And then everything breaks and the walls open up and the Cenobites pop out. And
man, I just missed the part where the Cenobites came.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that the Cenobites come in. But that's pretty cool, though. They come in literally halfway through the movie, like at the halfway point.
Yeah, you know what? That's as long as you can go in a Hellraiser 2 without waiting. I wonder if, as we go on, if the Cenobites are going to keep coming sooner and sooner. Because I feel like they took a lot longer even than the first one.
Yeah, they don't pop out immediately in the first movie.
But so I think they're going to keep bringing them sooner. Like, I feel like my prediction, when we watch the third one, which I assume we are, I don't think we're going to break from this one yet.
You don't know.
I don't know. I am going to imagine that they're going to come in like 5 minutes before the halfway point.
I think it'll be even sooner.
Really?
I think it'll be halfway in your half.
I will not bet against you.
So the Cenobites pop in, see Tiffany, the little blonde-haired girl, and they're just like, it's not hands that call us, it's desire. And so they're like, we don't want the girl. We want people who...
We want horny people.
We want... Yeah, exactly. She's not our
innocent.
target.
She didn't do anything.
So they go and look. I think they're looking for the doctor.
But she solved the puzzle, right?
She solved the puzzle, but they don't care. Her. They don't want her.
They're just basically solving the puzzle, just like, if you have sins, we're going to get you.
Yeah, exactly. And she's not done anything in her entire life.
Yeah.
But
they... the only thing that's okay in this world, solve puzzles. Yeah. All right? Go to your Barnes & Noble, get the nice puzzle, just keep building it. You know what? And the Cenobites will leave you alone.
Yeah.
Just saying, good advice out there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is like, I'm sure every person who has opened this puzzle box has been a bad person.
Oh, yeah, of course. Because to get that, you probably need some sort of greed, desire.
Exactly.
Well, she's just there solving puzzles.
She didn't even really want to open it.
Yeah. She was just like, whatever, I guess I'm here.
So they, instead of like, they just leave. They just like leave and walk
really
off.
Funny.
And just leave her there. But then she starts hearing like creepy carnival music. And she goes to a scary carnival where she sees This honestly was the stupidest fucking part of the whole movie.
Well, I was gonna say it was gonna be the stupidest part or the best part ever. My favorite part of the movie.
There's one part where she sees a juggler and she's like, "Oh, juggler!" And then you get a zoom in and you realize that the juggler is juggling his own eyeballs.
That's pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. And then she goes into a hall of mirrors, and they're all, I think, her mom saying like, "You need a fixer" or something like that.
This is the little girl.
Yeah, the blonde
Weird.
girl.
Okay.
Yeah, Tiffany, the little blonde girl that solves puzzles.
Yeah, I'm just making sure because it just seems like she was just nothing in my half of the movie. So hearing all this information,
like a main character in my half of the movie.
So riled.
Yeah, riled.
I
riled
can't
up.
even speak properly.
So then Kirsty wakes up and runs around looking for her dad. And then she takes the puzzle box.
Wait, but Dad's dead.
She's looking for her dad. I don't know why she's looking for her dad.
Maybe she is actually losing
She's
her
screaming,
mind.
"Daddy! Daddy!"
Okay.
I don't know why. So she picks up the puzzle box and she starts like running through all the halls, but because they're on like the other side, the Cenobite side, the underworld, all the hallways are like super confusing. Whenever we get a view of like the hallways, they look like MC Escher drawings.
Ooh, cool.
It's honestly really cool. The visual effects in this movie are definitely like heightened to the first
Yeah,
film.
they definitely got like a budget.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember the last movie, there's a character that was, you could see like the wheelbarrow under the monster.
Oh, and like all the effects of the Cenobites getting like zapped away is just like,
Goofy
here
as
is a shot of Pinhead against the wall, basically.
Yeah,
and we're going to spend so much time making this little rotoscoping these like really cheesy looking lightning effects.
Yeah. This is not that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And she gets lost, like running through all the halls. And then the Cenobites find her. And they're like, "Kirsty, we meet you yet again." They say Kirsty, which is so goofy. And she's just like, "This is a mistake." And they're just like, "We keep running into you." And they start like teasing her. And they're like,
but they're not after her, right?
They're not, but they're just like fucking with her.
Yeah,
They like fucking with people.
Yeah.
But also they're also just sort of like, why not? Like if it's sort of like, if you see us twice, it's your fault at this point.
Yeah.
You know,
why are you
shame
here?
on you.
Yeah, shame on you.
So they're like, we have your dad, we have you, and we're gonna fuck with you forever and eternity. And then Kirsty runs away, and she comes across Tiffany, and Tiffany's a mute, which is what I learned now. She doesn't really talk, and they are like running through the hallways. And they're trying to get out. Then Julia and the doctor are like walking around. We keep sort of cutting back between these two different like.
Are they both in kind of like the maze?
They're all in the maze.
Okay, got it.
Because Julia, I don't know. I think Julia's sort of telling the doctor, like, I think the doctor wants to learn more about this plane of existence.
Oh, he loves mazes. All right,
right.
Doctor. I mean, that was the start of his characters. He was talking about how the human mind is a maze and it's fun to discover.
So Julia's like taking him around, showing off. And they get to this sort of like
I've been here before.
Right.
Yeah. A nice tour.
That's the bathroom. You know.
Yeah, I've been living here for about 4 days now. It's pretty great, but I have skin now, so it's a little bit better.
It's a little better. And she shows off this. It's like this big open area where all the different like paths go to. And the puzzle box has turned into a like diamond shape. It almost looks like a dagger, almost.
So they only solved one puzzle box.
They solved one puzzle box.
Okay.
All the other puzzle boxes are back in the hospital, and we'll get to that.
Hospital, not the office?
No, they're in the hospital.
How'd they get in the hospital?
Because I think the doctor gave the patients the puzzle boxes.
Oh,
and now
solve.
To solve.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting.
So, but that's later in the movie. So they get to this like big, large area. There's a giant. So the puzzle box is turned into like a diamond. There's a giant diamond that looks just like the puzzle box in the center of this like large, vast space. And the doctor's sort of like overwhelmed by the enormity of it all. And then all of a sudden, Julia starts making out with the doctor. And he's just like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. And then all of a sudden...
this to get laid.
Well, yeah, it's going to fucking cost him. Because then she pushes him back into... So... It looks like the puzzle box, but it's as big as like a cupboard.
Okay.
And it opens up and it's just full of like muscles and flesh. And he falls into it.
Sounds like a weird Iron Maiden, fleshy Iron Maiden.
It's exactly like that. It's like a fleshy maiden.
Fleshy Maiden, love it. So many new words today.
That's the name of the game here in Clive Barker's world.
Yeah, who knew Clive Barker would expand our vocabulary so much?
So he falls into this fleshy maiden, and there's these like piano wires that like get up against his face, and Julia's like, "You wanted to see this world, and this world wanted more souls, so I brought you here.
Oh, of course she betrayed him.
Of course. And
at least Julia's consistently evil. I kind of like that.
Very evil. And so then this giant, all I can call it is like, it looks like a crab's penis, or like, it looks like if you mix like the tail of a scorpion with a dick, and it's just like fucking.
Wait, okay. The tail of scorpion, what's pointy? Is it pointy?
It's pointy at the end,
but
it also looks like a fleshy penis.
Okay, so
right?
It's got a fleshy penis with a point.
Right.
Got it.
And it also kind of looks
What kind of curve? Is it curving up?
It's floppy.
It's floppy.
It's floppy.
Okay. Not erect. All right.
And it grabs onto the doctor's head and just starts fucking like scrambling his brains.
So like, how does it grab onto his head? Does like the penis hole open up and like suck it up, and then the little
and the penis hole is actually made up. Well, the penis head is made up. Very Catholic. Is made up of like hands.
Circumcised?
It's like hands. It is circumcised.
Okay, got it.
Yes, and it looks like a hand, and it just like grabs onto his head, and then the rest of the fleshy stuff is like on top of him, and the door's closed.
The door's closed, and then what about the spiky part, the pointy part?
The pointy part?
Yeah, you said it was like a scorpion point.
Well, the scorpion point goes into his head.
Got it. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Cool. So he's getting lobotomized.
He's getting lobotomized. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Oh, good point.
Yeah.
So all that happens. Then we come back to Kirsty, and she sees her dad's house, and she tells Tiffany, "Wait outside. I'm going to go in the house from the first movie." Right. So she walks in the house, but it doesn't look like a house. It looks like a demonic church. Like it looks just like it's like stone, and there's all these like hallways.
Only inside.
Yes.
Outside looks fine.
Outside it just looks like a house. Okay. Inside it looks like this.
Nice.
And it's bigger on the inside than the outside.
Nice. Yeah.
So she walks in, and then she sees this part was actually like legitimately pretty cool.
I would love it if Doctor Who did a similar thing where you go inside and it's like a hell church.
I would love it
inside the box. Ooh.
I would love it if Doctor Who met the Cenobites.
What if the companion was Pinhead? Oh, Butterball.
Butterball.
Yeah, Butterball, new companion, Doctor Who. Let's go. Come on, BBC.
That I'd love to see.
Now that's progressive.
BBC, Butterball. Come on.
Butterball Cable Company.
Cable Company. So
is that what BBC? Oh no, it's BBC. I'm thinking CNN.
You're thinking CNN.
Would not even get that
British
right.
Broadcasting Company is what BBC stands for.
Butterball Broadcasting Company. There we go. That's the joke. I fix it, guys.
You figured it out.
Hold on, let me try this again.
You got it.
Welcome to the Butterball Broadcasting Company. I got it, guys. That was a great joke.
Done. No. Guys, that was perfect.
All right, we can end the podcast.
All right, good night, everybody. So she walks into this place, and there are these like tables with wheels, and the tables keep popping in and out. And on the tables, under sheets, are women like orgasming, naked women orgasming.
I've seen a porn like this once.
But when Kirsty pulls the blanket, the sheet off of the naked women, they aren't there. They're invisible. They're gone.
Oh, that's a game for someone.
Yeah, well. Exactly. Who is here? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And then she sees like a table, like a what are they called, with like a mirror and like a bunch of makeup and pictures and stuff, that sort of thing.
Oh God. Hey, I see the word, like, oh God.
I feel like it starts with a C. I want to call it a credenza, but I know that's not what
I was going to call it an armoire, but that's definitely wrong.
Whatever. Either way, I'm sure there's people listening that are screaming at us.
I don't know.
So, boudoir. I don't know what it is. So then she sees written on the mirror, "I'm in hell, come help."
Ah, classic. Who's this character again that we're following?
This is Kirsty.
Okay, got it.
Who saw that originally on the wall.
Yes, got it.
And so she sees that, but then all of a sudden she realizes this has been a trap the whole time. It wasn't her dad that wrote this. It was Frank.
Yeah, it's hard to tell when it's a skinless person.
Yes, exactly. And she turns around, and it's not a skinless Frank. It's a skinned Frank. Skin.
Is it the same actor?
I don't remember, to be completely honest. It might be.
Okay.
And he's like,
it'd be a bold choice if they showed the flashback of Frank multiple times, and then they're like, it's
so
a different actor.
Right?
Yeah, it has to be, right?
So then he says, "This is my hell, because all I want to do is fuck these women, but I can't fuck them because every time I remove the sheet, they're gone."
Oh my God.
So this is what I've
That's really your hell?
This is hell, apparently.
Okay.
And so then he's like, "But you're here, Kirsty, and I'm going to fuck you."
Oh,
and Kirsty's
God.
like, "Not if I can help it." And then she tosses the sheet into the fire, burning him to musculature again.
By the way, it's the same guy for sure.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. So he's returned to muscle, and then all of a sudden Julia walks in with Tiffany. I don't know why they showed up, but they did.
Okay.
And Julia's there, and she walks up to Frank, and Frank's like, I knew I could trust you, Julia. Julia's like, yeah, totally. And then she fucking rips his heart out.
Trust it.
She's just straight.
I love that
now.
she just betrays every dumb guy, which I kind of like it.
Great.
I like it.
Girl
that
boss,
girl
baby.
boss.
Yeah.
Literally doing the OG girl boss.
That's exactly right. She's gonna
gaslight, gatekeep, go to hell.
Exactly. So rips Frank's heart out. Julia then comes across the diamond puzzle box and is like holding onto it.
Yeah.
Because Tiffany and Kirsty dropped it. And then the doctor now leaves his fleshy prison.
Ooh.
And he's fucking horrifying. He looks like a Cenobite now. And he just permanently has the giant penis on top of his head, just holding onto him.
Cool.
And now how he gets around is the penis thing picks him up by his head and just like swings him around by his head.
That's cool.
His feet never touch the ground. And he says, honestly, this movie, it's not as good as the first one. I don't think so. But this line kind of gave me the shivers because he's just like dealt with unimaginable, unspeakable torture. And he leaves his fleshy maiden with a giant penis on top of his head. And he just says, "To think I hesitated." And it's just like so fucking cool. Like, what a great bit.
Can you guess the name of this Cenobite that is now this?
Penis head. Dickhead.
Doctor.
Dr. Dickhead.
It calls in the Wikipedia. It says Chenard Cenobite.
Oh.
But in the let's see, the true source, thefandom.com.
That's right.
It's Doctor.
Excuse
me, Cenobite.fandom.com.
There you go. Perfect. So now he is the main villain as well as Julia. Well,
nice.
Actually, Julia's not the villain for long anymore because there's a scene where they're running through the hallways, and Julia gets like sucked in by like a big like fan or like just a vent or something, and her fucking skin falls off.
Oh my god!
And I didn't know that she was like a musculature, so I was just like, what the hell? Why did her skin come off so easy?
That's her old form.
But her musculature falls away, and this scares Tiffany and Kirsty, so they just leave.
I mean, fair. Yeah, I would
Totally
do that.
reasonable.
Time to get out.
So they return to the hospital, and they're like, we got to escape. But then the doctor busts in, head attached to the fleshy worm thing, and his fingers turn into eyeballs and then turn into knives. And he starts laughing and chopping up all of his patients who are trying to solve the puzzle box, all of his like mental patients.
Like in real life?
Yes.
Okay.
This is really happening now.
I just want to make sure. I felt like we were still in Hell Dimension.
Sorry, Hell Dimension. Kirsty and Tiffany have left the Hell Dimension, and the Doctor Cenobite, Dr. Dickhead, has also left the Hell Dimension.
Okay.
Kirsty reveals to Pinhead that he and the other Cenobites were humans once.
Oh.
And she shows him a photo of the explorer at the beginning of the movie.
Ah, yes, Hellraiser.
That's right.
Or Pinhead, excuse me.
The Pinhead.
Hellraiser is just the name of the movie.
That's right. I also mix it up. And the Cenobites are like, this is probably the stupidest part of the entire movie. They're like, we were human once. And they just sort of...
Like realizing it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then the doctor shows up, and they're going to fight each other. So the
What the fuck?
So the 4 Cenobites and the doctor have to fight each other. And the Cenobites, particularly Pinhead, like attach a bunch of like chains to the doctor. And I'm like, oh shit, that was an easy fight. But the doctor cannot be bested so easily. Cuts all the chains and then starts systematically killing all the Cenobites. And as he kills them, they turn back into humans. So the lady turns into a lady. Butterball just turns into like a fat guy. The Chatterer turns into like a kid. Like he looks like a teenager. So that was crazy. And Pinhead turns into the guy again. And then he dies. All 4 of them die.
So that's the end of it, right?
That's the end of it.
There's no more Hellraiser
There
after
cannot be another Pinhead at this point. So the doctor is one, and this scares everybody. And so then they're
what
like...
did Butterball's human form look like?
He's just like a big guy.
Yeah.
I know. And so then... what is it?
Did Chatterer guy have big teeth or big mouth?
No, he's just like a kid. He's like a teenager.
Oh,
it was actually pretty fucked up. So then Tiffany says that she starts talking now. Tiffany's now talking because of all the horrors that's occurred to her.
Yeah.
She's like, I have to finish the puzzle box. So Tiffany and Kirsty both run back into the Hell Dimension, go to Julia's fucking lifeless skin, and
how do they get in and out of the Hell Dimension?
There's a portal.
There's the portal?
Yeah, there's a doorway. They go in, grab the diamond-shaped puzzle box, and Tiffany has to like try to solve it. And they reach that same plateau where the giant thing was, where the giant diamond shaped thing
Yeah.
was, and they're there, and then all of a sudden, understandably, Tiffany gets like triggered by all this because of all the fucking horrific shit that's happened.
Why.
Right? And then the doctor fucking pops out, and the doctor's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, Tiffany. And then Tiffany's all scared, and then Julia comes out of nowhere. And Julia's back, and she's got her skin on again, and she comes.
She got her skin back.
She comes back, and she like starts to seduce the doctor. And she starts kissing the doctor, and this gives Tiffany just enough time to solve the puzzle box, and this kills the doctor. Oh, this part was crazy. So the doctor has had this giant penis head on top of his head the whole time, which has basically been moving him around, sort of like those grabbing claws, like the grabbing claw things. That thing just rips half of his head off. So from the jaw down, is like that's on the ground, and from his upper like teeth to the top of his head are like that's split. He's dead now.
Gross.
It's awesome. It's a great effect. And then this also like tosses Tiffany off the side of this giant like cliff, and Julia pops in, and Julia puts an arm out and is like, I'm here to save you. And Tiffany's like, I don't trust you. And Julia's like, trust me. So they Tiffany grabs Julia's hand, and then Julia's skin starts to come off. And then you're just like, oh no, Tiffany. And then another hand comes and grabs Tiffany, and it's Julia's other hand. But here's the thing. You fucking fell for the trap, my man.
What?
It wasn't Julia. That was actually Kirsty in Julia's skin.
How did she get it?
She ran back to where Julia's like lifeless skin was in the middle of the maze, put it on, ran back and made out with the doctor in order to distract Tiffany. That shit was crazy.
That is what? How'd she put it on? Like
I don't know.
Like how do you just put someone else's skin on? How's it fit? How's it go around the rest of your body?
How does it stick to you?
Okay, look. We just talked about, I forgot the name. What was it? Locomotive system?
Yeah.
Everyone's got a different locomotive system.
That's right.
Different size of muscle.
Yeah.
You know what? Penis head thing, stabbing a guy, lobotomizing him, turning him into a Cenobite. I get it.
Yeah.
Putting another person's skin on.
And like being like everyone believing like you don't just have another person's skin on your body.
I do like that her skin started flying or slipping off.
It was pretty great. And then she just pulls the skin off to reveal that it's Kirsty. And then Kirsty and Tiffany hug each other. And I'm like, I'm not going to hug her. She's covered in fucking blood guts.
Yeah.
But then they run out. The puzzle box starts to turn back into a normal puzzle box. The portal's closing. Oh my God, are they going to make it? They, of course, do. And they make it out of the hospital. And everything's okay. Except the mattress.
Oh, they never burned it.
They never burned it. And so there are these movers that show up at the doctor's house. One of them goes upstairs to move the mattress and gets eaten by it. And then another mover comes in like, what's going on in here? And out of the mattress comes like it's like a wooden beam.
Okay.
And it's a big wooden, like a wooden beam.
Very phallic.
Very phallic. Well, it's also covered in like skeletons and dicks and shit.
Okay. Well, you should have led with that.
Well, a wooden
beam. Okay. Oh, it's covered with skeletons and dicks, by the way.
Honestly,
it sounds like a little kid making a story up. Like, first off, there's a big beam and it pops out of the mattress.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's covered full of dicks.
And skeletons. It's dude.
Like, now finally people are impressed.
This effect is so fucking cheesy. Like, it's so stupid.
Are you seriously couldn't think that they could sell the effect of a wooden plank?
I know. With faces and
dicks
skeletons.
On it, yeah.
And like they have like a close up of a skeleton and it just goes like and its arms and legs just start like bouncing around. It's stupid as hell. And then it's like the wooden beam is like turning around to reveal all the sides of it. And then it finally shows one side with a face of a guy with long beard and hair. I don't know who this fucking guy is. And then he just says, "What is your pleasure, sir?" And then that is the end of the movie.
Maybe that's Pinhead again.
It didn't look like him, but it might have been.
Maybe, I mean, he's bald. Like, maybe he
grew hair and I just didn't recognize him.
He's been in quarantine for a while,
That's true.
He probably grew some hair.
But yeah, that's the end of the movie.
That's the end of the movie. Wow.
And so
you kind of liked it?
I liked it. I didn't love it. Didn't like it as much as the first one.
Yeah.
I didn't, and I read a little bit. So Clive Barker didn't write this movie.
He did the story though.
He came up with like the characters,
Oh, okay.
and he had certain ideas that he pitched to the script writer.
Mm-hmm.
So like he had some creative control, but like most of this was from the mind of other people, and you can kind of tell. Like the biggest thing about this movie is it's just not horny enough.
Yeah.
The first one is very horny, and the other thing I didn't like, which apparently was Clive Barker's idea, was to establish who the Cenobites were. And like explain that they were humans that had been tortured, and I was like, I think that's the lamest part of the whole fucking idea.
That
like,
idea that they're actually people as opposed to like malevolent beings.
To me, it's much more scary if they're like malevolent, like interstellar.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I don't mind it too much because like as a person, you have your humanity like ripped away from you, and
that's
you're just
pretty scary.
That's kind of scary.
I just don't like them turning back into humans.
No,
I think that's
kinda
stupid
dumb.
as hell.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Or
That
them
part's
also
dumb.
going like, we were human once. Like,
Yeah.
stupid. That's fucking stupid.
I agree with you.
Every other thing in this movie worked pretty damn well, though. Like, the visual effects are really great, although... So, like, they have to sell this as, like, an endless maze, but it's so obvious that certain walls are just, like, painted to look like a long hallway, and it's, like, it never looks good. It never sells it. But it was cute. It was fun. It was, it's weird to say it was cute and fun.
It's a cute little fun. I mean, it's a slasher movie, right? It's like a gory horror movie.
But it's so over the top.
It's
and,
so
like,
goofy.
Honestly...
1988.
Not bad, right?
Yeah.
1988. Man, that's crazy. And like, honestly, the effect of the Doctor being carried around by a giant penis worm that held him by his head was pretty fucking great. Like, I kind of liked it.
That's pretty cool.
I like that bit a
I
lot.
want to let you know that you can buy.
Whoa! That's what he looks like! Yeah, so look at him. He has a set of balls at the bottom.
There is I'm showing you a figurine that you could buy.
And it looks just like him.
Can you guess? Here's another shot of it.
Oh,
better shot.
That looks great.
Yeah, it's got the penis head on and everything. Can you guess how much this is selling for on Amazon right now? Because it's a collector's item, so it's not like it's not like a manufacturer. They don't make these anymore.
I'm gonna say it's at least $1,000.
Okay. It's a 6-inch scale.
Okay.
It's kind
probably
of
a
big.
little smaller then.
Yeah, 6 inches is pretty big though.
Yeah,
I'm saying pretty big.
I don't know. I think 6 inches is pretty tiny. I think like
it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty big for Dr. Chenard. Not right? Yeah. This is called the Dr. Chenard Hellraiser movie series 3 action figure.
All right, so I'd guess knowing it's that small, I'd probably say it's maybe around like $800, $700.
It's $420 right now.
$420?
Yep, $420. Going for that. $420. You can get your own little.
Honestly, that's not a bad price.
It looks boxed. Yeah, I don't know. You can get a cheaper one. It looks like it's in the used section. Oh, it's been opened. Yeah,
it's been used. Yeah, somebody used that.
Yeah.
Would you want that? It looks pretty cool, right?
Yeah, sure. I like in this Amazon description it says disgusting detail. It also says ball jointed tentacle, which is really funny to me.
That's right, ball jointed tentacle.
I mean, the bottom part of it looks like balls too.
It does. You don't really see the bottom part in the movie.
No, but in this, you get to see all that goodness on this little figurine. That's fun.
So how'd you like it?
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was the beginning just. It felt like it was just like, okay, let's get to the hell place.
Yeah, let's get to the Hellraiser
We gotta
stuff.
try getting here.
Yeah.
And it just felt like all the characters kind of did the same thing. It just felt like kind of a retread in a lot of ways.
Right.
Basically the same story. I thought it might have been more interesting to have someone like Kyle get introduced to this and be kind of like set up. But he just dies so quickly.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of fun to have like a little team for a little bit, but he dies so quickly. He doesn't even meet the Cenobites.
No.
They never ask him what his pleasure is. You know? I want to know.
That's the thing. I kind of dig that about the original, where like that scene where the dad is Uncle Frank is so off-putting and unnerving, and they really didn't. I guess they had that in this movie, but like it's not as just a random lady talking to a guy. It's not as fucked up as like a girl talking to who she thinks is her dad, but is actually her like twisted, sick, perverted uncle.
Yeah,
that's fucked.
Yeah.
That never really happens in this movie.
No,
so,
nothing.
There is a scene where like her uncle comes on to her in hell, but like there's just there's like a Hitchcockian feel to the original movie. That works a lot better, I think.
Also, I feel like the hell sounds like a more fantastical place. Well, like in the first movie, it was like it was kind of hard to
in mystery.
Yeah, it was hard to tell the difference between hell and the house a lot more. It was more muddled. While this seems like it's more obvious.
I've seen people say like I like Hellraiser 2 more because we get to see the other side, and I'm like I prefer the first one because it's shrouded more in mystery.
Yeah, I get that.
I like the mystery. I like not knowing what's going on. So,
yeah, I mean, I thought this was fine though.
It was fine.
It was fine. It
wasn't
cool
as bad
effects.
as I thought it was going to be.
No, but I don't think they're going to get better.
Hey, you don't know, man. Maybe the internet one's where it all turns around.
Yeah, maybe the internet one is where it all turns around. Okay, got one fun fact for Hellraiser. We'll probably dive into more of it later in other episodes, and maybe other facts and little knowledge tidbits. But we had to get through the plot of the first one since we are skipping that one.
Yeah, that's right.
I will let you know that there was a Hellraiser licensed video game that was going to come out for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Of course, the fun fact you look up is a fucking video game.
No. But do you know what it turned into? Because eventually they gave
Dead
up.
Space.
Nope, they gave up. The Nintendo Entertainment System?
I don't know. Was it Nintendo Entertainment? Which one? The N64?
No, NES.
Oh, the NES. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know then.
Okay. It was going to be Hellraiser until they abandoned the license and made Super 3D Noah's Ark, a Bible game, which I love.
That's incredible.
It's such a flip. It's such a flip to also be like, we're going to be a little Bible game instead.
Yeah.
It just shows you how much like people working on something, even if it's like a religious thing, is just like, yeah, before we were making fucking Hellraiser.
Yeah.
We were probably talking about pleasure and stuff, and now it's like how many animals are on the boat.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, would you recommend us waiting until, like, let's say, first thing, we're gonna watch the next one, right?
Yeah, I don't think I'm ready to bail out. Like, this is enjoyable enough.
Yeah. Do you guys think if we can't stand the next couple, should we wait until the internet one, or should we just bail before that? Email us at emailtheotherfpodcast.com. Let us know. Reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you want to listen to our future episodes, check them out on any podcatching app when they come out. And while you're there, please leave a 5-star rating and review. We will read it on the show, no matter what it says, even if it is going to open up a portal to hell where we will turn into Cenobites.
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
I don't.
No?
No, I don't want to go there. Who knows what it would be? Who knows what my endless torture would be?
Seems like a lot of fun if you're a Cenobite, though.
I don't feel like they remember what fun is. I think they're just vibing.
Yeah, that's fair.
But not good vibes, just neutral
Bad vibes?
Bad vibes.
Oh.
You know, the other reason we picked this movie too, or this movie series, is apparently there's a new one going to be coming out on Hulu at some point.
That's right, in 2022.
So we got to prepare for it by becoming excellent lore experts at Hellraiser, so we can give you an honest review of what the new one is going to be.
Honestly, I bet we'll probably know more about the Hellraiser series than Clive Barker does.
At this point, yeah, because I think this is also the last movie he even like touched. I'm pretty sure I looked at the rest of the series, and it's a whole bunch of people I don't recognize.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
We'll see how they tarnish his name.
See you guys next week in hell. Good night, everybody.